So welcome to Anza Founders Night, which is a monthly networking event designed to bring together startups, innovators, ecosystem enablers, and investors in a dynamic and collaborative environment. So this is the 5th edition of the Anza Founders Night. I remember just like yesterday, I walked into Nairobi Garage for our first event, and 3-4 weeks later, I was hired as part of the Anza team. The Anza Founder Night is really an opportunity for promoting interaction, collaboration, and sharing of valuable insights and experiences. So I'm so grateful that all of you have been able to make it here on time. And I'd just like to invite Wangeshi Wahome to just guide us through the Anza Village Impact Report for 2023. So this report will highlight a little bit about what we have been able to accomplish, some of our highlights, some of our losses, and just give you a little bit of insight into what we've been able to do. So a big round of applause for Wangeshi.
So I would like to just start by saying Anza Village has been quite a force in the ecosystem this year. The journey for Anza Village started last year when two of us, myself and Sisule, who you will see later, is running late, met a team of two others, that's Innocent and Jesse. I'd met Jesse earlier when we were doing something about intellectual property, and I'd been involved a lot in the startup ecosystem, and I was so sure that this is what I wanted to do: support, give impact, and support, and just make sure that we enable the startup ecosystem. Innocent had been running Statinev with Jesse for a while, and what we felt is everybody is fragmented, right? We have so many accelerator hubs. I think we have over 100 accelerator hubs. And so many people, we talk about being the second best, sometimes the best startup ecosystem in Africa, yet a very small number of people within the ecosystem actually make it. Why not build a community where, one, everyone belongs in, two, we support with resources, and I'll tell you one of the most successful resource we have is at the very back. You'll find a book, a big book called The Innovator's Guidebook, and I'll tell you what it's about. And the third thing we were to train, and we launched the Anza Grow Academy. So we started this conversation in July, but it wasn't until January 2023 that we actually now put our legs properly into the ecosystem. So we did the first Anza Night, the one that Shirley came, and she became part and parcel of that. That was January 27th. And since then, we've done close to more than 10 events within Anza Village, but we've been involved with way more outside Anza Village. And so I want to take you through that journey. So I just want to give you a quick recap of what this year has been about. One was, of course, we did the launch of the Anza Village last year. It was sort of like a light launch where we had a round table. We had a round table around tech and HR. We needed to understand within the tech ecosystem, how do we hire? And we're losing talent to big organizations like Microsoft. So how do we ensure that the startup ecosystem is also benefiting? Then we did the very first Anza Nights in January. Subsequently, we did one in March, August, October, and then this. So this becomes the 5th edition. We had a female founders roundtable in March, and I'll tell you what that achieved. For the longest time, we talk about gender-lens investing, and we talk about not having enough women in the startup ecosystem. So it was important to hold a roundtable and have women talk about what exactly are the issues and how do we address, not talk about problems without solutions, but actually figure out how do we address this. And so that became part and parcel of a conversation that we have having and we continuously have. And next year we'll be doing something bigger for the startup ecosystem, the women in the startup ecosystem. Then we did the art of storytelling. That was a masterclass, and that became a soft launch for the academy. And we launched the first Anza Grow Academy in April, the first cohort. So this is the Anza Grow Academy. We've had 2 cohorts, and we had over 20 startups, some of the best. In fact, they become the biggest brand ambassadors of Anza Village. So out of the cohort of 20, we had around 13 startups. Yes, we had 13 startups. And to be honest, these are startups that are still making waves in this. During the academy, we didn't do much. out within the Anza cohort. Within the Anza Village, we did a lot of effort within the cohort, and we had the masterclass on intellectual property rights. And subsequently, we had other fireside chats. One of the fireside chats we had was with Victor. The first fireside chat we had Victor Miner from Duka. He was the first Texas startup awardee, so to say. When Texas came to Africa, we had the very first person who got some very good funding. That was Victor Miner. He came in and had conversations. The purpose of the fireside chat is having the founder's journey. People who've made it come and tell us how do we ensure that we're part of that journey. And we've had one with Nala, that's Nikolai, and we had Dean, and we continue to have more. We did a masterclass on finance and fundraising, and then during the Anza night on 30th, was it 30th or 31st of October, we launched the pitch battles. Now for me, the pitch battles are becoming one of the best things that are happening in the ecosystem, and I'll tell you why. Every single time you come in front and you pitch somewhere, sometimes we don't appreciate that. Like, we do not enjoy the pitches. Sometimes it's all about criticizing and questioning and all that, and sometimes you just want to listen and enjoy the story, right? And hear what's the impact that the startup is trying to do. But in addition to that, what we make sure is that during the pitch battles, the winner gets to go home with something. And that's why we turned it back to you. We talk about funding, but can we be our own source of funding? And during the first pitch battle, that was a month ago. That was in October. We had 4 pitches. Our intention was to have one winner who takes some money and goes home, but the crowd refused. So every single person who pitched here went home with something. I don't think you ever see that in the ecosystem. So it was you saying, I have 100 shillings, I have 1,000 shillings, 5,000, whatever money, and we put that money into their pockets, and the founders went home with something. And so today we are doing the second pitch battle. Of course, we've had panel discussions, but for me, the most powerful thing about the last panel discussion was we made sure that we have government, we have investors in the room, and we have the innovators. It's not enough to have conversations when we're not involving everybody. And even today, and I'm sure they're still coming in, is we'll still have representative from all these people, right? And part of the highlight of Anza Village, and I know, Shali, you asked our wins and our losses. So let me give you what November has been about. So November has been a month of wins for us. And the first win is we attended an ISO bootcamp. That is a startup ecosystem enablers. We attended an ISO bootcamp in November, beginning of this month. We had around 12 ESOs that were competing. And think about it this way, we always run hackathons. So this was a hackathon for hackathon organizers. And the wonderful team of Anza Village got to win. So at least we're doing something right, yeah? Yeah. And subsequently, again, in the same month of November, together with the Kenya Innovation Agency and the British High Commission, we launched the Innovators Guidebook. And this was done during the Intellectual Property Rights Summit. We've had conversations about how do we protect our innovation. When you come here and you're pitching, how do you protect our innovation? And for us, the easiest thing was, can we give you the resources that we're talking about? And those are in that Innovators Guidebook. We'll give you a QR code to scan before the end of the session for you to download. This wasn't a tiny thing. I mean, being able to come in and sit down with government and say, hey, we're doing something together, it wasn't easy. And then now being able to get international organizations, we had the UK government with Commonwealth agreeing to come and do this with us. I mean, that was the beginning of a long journey. Next year, we expect more. So that's the highlight of the year in a nutshell. This journey has not been alone. We've worked this with you. We have a community of over 500 founders in Kenya. I mean, on paper, those ones that I can say, I can reach to you all. Out of that, we have over 100 ecosystem enablers within our network. We have investors within our network, innovation hubs. We also have partnerships with government. And most importantly, Anza Village is not Kenyan, it's Pan-African. So we've made sure that every single life of an innovator in Africa is touched and it's impacted. In this room, I want to recognize a few people that we've been walking that journey with, right? And one of them is we've walked that journey with university students. I can see a couple of people from Africa Innovation Hub. These are medical students innovating at university level, and they have some of the most brilliant ideas. In fact, one of these team was the best speeches during our Anza demo day. Another one won the Uni Innovators Challenge and went to Berlin last year. And this is just part of the people that we continue to impact. We do have people from our cohorts. And in that spirit, that's from the University of Nairobi. We've had partnership, and I don't know whether I have anyone from here from Kabarak University. And we've started that engagement with Kabarak University. Part and parcel of that is, what we're trying to do is support innovation as early as even university and even high school, hopefully next year. And part of that partnership is we're getting into, pause on that. Part of that partnership we are doing is getting into more and more universities and more organizations. So before I sit down, I'd like to recognize a few organizations that have been part and parcel of this. I can't name everyone, but allow me just recognize this place, Antler. And I wish we had someone from Antler here. I know he's stepped out and he'll be coming back. Antler is one of the best venture building entity, and they've worked with us this journey the entire year. I think we did our first demo day here, and we've continued to do more and more. So thank you, Antler. Thank you, ASIC. Thank you, Startup Grind, the law firm of Sisule and Associate, where, by the way, I hail from, Kenya, and many others. So for the rest of the evening, I know we'll keep having conversations. But what I really wanted us to do is at least understand what the year has been. I know we'll be doing a year in review as we continue, but if you get an opportunity, I want to hear how your year has been like. But this is us 2023. Let's wait and see what 2024 is about.
Right now, we're going to just jump into a quick discussion with Innocent. And we're going to just be talking about startups in review, navigating 2023, and anticipating 2024. So, Innocent, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. So perhaps you could just give the audience a quick introduction about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive in.
My name is Innocent, my brother. I've been supporting the startup ecosystem, I think, for 6 years now. Started in campus in my second year. We ran the only student-run incubator in the country. Then out of that, we graduated, started StudyDev, started Anza Village, Anza Grow, Africa Hackon, and a lot more organizations that we support. And the goal has been, one, to make sure that we have a proper startup ecosystem. Most people know me by another name, and that came out of me actually genuinely wanting to see proper founders.
You just got awarded, what was that?
I got awarded Youth Connect of the Year for Africa yesterday. Yeah.
So as Youth Connector of the Year, how do you feel about the future of the startup ecosystem for 2023?
I'm not impressed, that's the truth. In 2022, we had around 700 million Kenya shillings coming into the country, which was really good. 2024, we are at 200 million. That is a third of what has come in, or what came last year. So that's not a good sign at the very least. But then we do understand the way the ecosystem is currently placed. But I think there is a very positive change that is happening, and I was having a chat with somebody and we were asking ourselves, are we going to see the Silicon Savannah ever in Kenya? Will it switch to Zanzibar? Will it switch to Mauritius, to Nigeria? And I realized one thing, we are quite young as an ecosystem, and we're only going to see a startup Savannah if one thing happens, if we see our first exit. And that's what catalyzes innovation. If you look at what has happened to Nigeria, Nigeria became what it became when they had their first unicorn, which was Flutterwave, followed by Chipper Cash, now Paystack. We've not seen that in Kenya yet. So we are in the right path in terms of where we are headed. That's number one. Number two, We've seen a few angel investors coming out of the ecosystem, and that changes a lot. If our own people can't believe in our own startups, we don't expect anybody from outside to believe in us. So we've seen 200 million Kenya shillings come from outside, but can we see the same coming from internally? And yesterday was latitude 59. No, the day before yesterday. I met a founder who I've known for about 8 years, and I didn't know until that day so I told him, I really love your startup, I think I should recommend you to Techstars. And they were like, no, I don't want to be recommended. I was like, but I feel like you should raise money. And he told me he raised $2 million in angel investment this year from a Kenyan. And that changes the story. So that's what I expect to see. I want to see Kenyans invest. So, I mean, he's not said it publicly, so it's not in the 200 million, I'd say. So ideally at 400 million. And so half of that has come from Kenyans. So I want to see an ecosystem where Kenyans invest in startups. It's nice. But the innovation ecosystem can only grow if we believe in it as much as we expect people from outside there to believe in it.
Okay. Thank you for that very candid answer. So part of the challenges that you've mentioned that Kenya has, that Kenyan founders navigate every day, how best would you suggest that the young founders, the aspiring founders in this room, can work around overcoming them?
I genuinely, some of us work so hard to see the ecosystem grow, and then there are founders who work very hard to pull it back. And the reason I say that is a lot of founders are building, I don't want to say unnecessary, but they're building startups the wrong way, as far as I'm concerned. And you don't ask the right questions when you build. You come to startup weekends, you come to Anza Grow, and we tell you the same things, and you see founders not really taking note of what is said here. There's a question, there's a statement you keep saying. Do you know your why? Are you building a solution for the right market? And then you see founders just applying for programs because grants exist. And what that does is it slows down the ecosystem. I'll give a very sad example. There's a time last year, I was a judge for two programs on the same day. So there was an APSA program in the morning, there was a Stanchart program in the same day. But one was in the morning, one was in the afternoon. Luckily I was a judge for both. So a startup pitched in the morning, a guy pitched, I was very happy they pitched so well and won $1 million Kenya shillings. Then I was a judge at the Stanchart program, and the Stanchart program was a women's program. So I saw the same startup, but this time the founder was a lady, the entire team was ladies, so trying to wonder. I saw a guy pitch in the morning, the pitch deck in the morning had guys as co-founders, same pitch deck, but the team pitch deck had changed to ladies. And that's what you're doing to the ecosystem, and people start discussing you. And that's just one example. I can name 10 founders I meet every day, and I'm like, not to man. And that's the truth, yeah? So I hope that changes. We really need to, as much as ecosystem enablers are trying their best to build, we need to build all of us the same way. We are in a position where even government is really keen on supporting founders for once. I can tell you that for sure. I know we all have our problems with the government, but for once I think there's a lot of hope when it comes to startups specifically, but we are not building together. So I think I need to see that happen a bit more. I need to see founders support enablers as much as we do. And number 3, and this is one thing I say, as much as we have the resources, we know so much, it's not our work to handhold founders. I think founders are at a point where now they expect us to breastfeed them, give them food, house them. We can only do so much. Your startup is not a side hustle. And as ecosystem enablers, the honest truth is we don't owe you anything. But we do our best at times to actually support you guys. So we need to build the same way. It becomes easier for me when you tell me, I've been doing this is I'm stuck. Rather than you just sit and wait until Anza has the next program, then you show up, then it dies off. I see you again, now you have something else. I think we need to build together. And we are very happy to support. I was telling somebody yesterday, we have more investment than the ecosystem can absorb. About a month ago, myself and JC were talking to some guys from the Middle East, and they were saying they have $4 billion to invest in the startup ecosystem, and they've tried scouting for startups. They've seen around 1,000 pitch decks, and they're not meeting the criteria. So where is the problem? Is the problem with the enablers? Is the problem with the startups themselves? So where is that disconnect? So we really need to actually do a proper survey of where the problem is and build together, so that when I go to pitch you guys, I don't pitch you then when you meet the investors, they're like me. And I can tell you for sure, there's another local investor who has a mandate to do 12 startups every year. They've done 8 this year. They're telling me, listen, we have to do 4 more by December. They've not found before, and they have a call out for applications every other time. So there's a clear disconnect. Yeah.
Thank you again for your very, very candid remarks. So, what would be your key objectives and aspirations for 2024 based on the insights you have gained from 2023?
2024, obviously more founders. Out of every 100, this is not my wish, but out of every 100, we only expect 3 to shine. So I hope that number changes. But it can only change if you have more. So if 3 succeed out of 100, at least you should have 1 million, so that you have how many? 3,000, 30,000 succeed. Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is we are quite young as an ecosystem, and we need to see more growth. Number one. Number two, as enablers, we are doing the most. For those of you who know, we just launched a program with KPMG, and it was to address one problem. No matter how much or how many investors come into the ecosystem, until founders are ready to absorb the funding that comes, the funding will never come. So there's a program we're launching, and the idea is, can we actually have investors as mentors? So before you meet your investor, they've already guided you. This is what your pitch deck should have. This is how your numbers should look like. We've already done round 1 of 10 startups and 5 investors. Out of that, 8 have gotten investment, or will get investment in the next 1 month. So we hope to do 6 or so editions of that next year to get more funding. And that's local funding. That's actually local funding coming into the ecosystem. That's part 1. Number 2 is I feel like a lot more founders should look at other markets. If you're building for Kenya, at any given time, the most you will ever have is 50 million. If you look at the Silicon Valley model, they look at a million users in the first year. It's almost not realistic in an African setup. So how do you build for Africa? Now I hope to see more Africans building for Africa. Number 3 is I want to see more founders, more ecosystem enablers collaborating. Every other time, especially enablers, founders are even better. Enablers compete. You can't even sit in a room with an enabler and agree. I really wish to see more enablers. I mean, you can't fight as enablers, then you expect the startups to win. Yeah, so I really hope to see more collaboration. If you look at what happened in Nigeria between Paystack and Stripe, yeah, Paystack could have been easily said we have the market, and because we have a proper, but they agreed to be bought out, and now see how much that has changed. Out of that, Paystack has launched an incubator, I think, that is now supporting founders with millions of dollars. You know? So that's what I hope to see next year. I hope to see a lot more collaboration. I can tell you for sure, some of us as enablers have more resources than the ecosystem can currently handle, but we don't know who to give, because on one end, there are standards that have already been put. On the other end, founders are not ready. Enablers themselves are not ready as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much for the review of navigating and anticipating for 2024. Do we have any questions? We'd like to take 2.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Masi Munene. I work as program coordinator at YGAP. So I think this is a central place for ecosystem enablers to now sit together and talk. My question is, though, you talk of investments and the gap that exists between the investors and reaching the right founders, right? But what is it that investors really want? Is it that they don't work with us, the ecosystem enablers? Because I can assure you, you can recommend Bertha, for example, because you've walked the journey with her, you've done the due diligence over time. So what exactly is it they are looking for? Is it that they are not working with the people who have taken time to work with these businesses? Or what is the problem? What is it exactly they're looking for? That's my question. Thank you.
I'll answer that question, but I'll also put somebody on the spot because he's just walked in and he probably understands this way better.
Okay, so Emmanuel, thanks for the pressure in the sense. I'm Tanzanian originally, so first I just want to say my perspective is a bit, it's going to come from the country with the better chapati. That being said, I think first of all, I think Kenya has a great ecosystem compared to everyone else in the region, right? So that's one thing you guys need to know, even being here. This is an advantage that Tanzania doesn't have, Uganda doesn't have, all these other guys around you don't really have, right? With that being said, I think you can even see in the amount of money that comes in. I think they just released a report that says, I think Kenya is the country which is, I think, second in funding after either SA or Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. What I've noticed is the kind of funding that comes into Kenya comes because most of the builders seem to be based over here. I think what Innocent was referring to and what's been built. I was part of the team that built Nala, which is a remittance company, and originally we were a Tanzanian company, but we had to move here. And to this day we get so much heat for that from people back home. Sometimes we have the Ministry of Communication, which does Clubhouse. They do Clubhouse sessions where they have the public ask the minister a few questions. And one of the questions they always ask is, why is the poster child of tech in Tanzania? Why are they in Kenya? These guys call me how should we answer this question? And again, the answer is, the best builders in this region, I think, are here, right? So even when investors come to Kenya, I think they just come and invest here, knowing that I think the higher chance of returns in this region is definitely over here, and then B, I think even the purchasing power of, the products that are built, it's way higher over here, right? If you take a look at so right now I'm currently in the space of building consumer apps, which is completely different from the fintech stuff I did before, and most of the guys who have disposable income to spend on a new product, they're based in Kenya. Guys in Tanzania, guys in Uganda to this day are still building stuff that has to do with infrastructure. It's very, products like, let's say, Hustle Sasa, products like MOOC, stuff which you need. It's not a fintech infrastructure company. It's not a health tech company. It's stuff that the consumers have to have additional income to be able to use apps like that. They seem to thrive here, because the market seems to just have a high purchasing power, but also most of the builders sit here. So I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but the main 2 points, I guess, is the reason investors love spending their money here compared to other neighboring countries is just most of the builders are in Kenya. The cost of development in Kenya compared to other countries in Africa, I think, is much more reasonable. And the quality, I think, of devs that sit in Nairobi in Kenya are much higher compared to everywhere else apart from Nigeria. I think you guys could definitely do a bit more to catch up with Nigeria in terms of how hungry you are. I'm talking about the devs, not so yeah, the builders are basically based here. And as long as the builders are based here, I think this ecosystem will probably attract a lot more money than everyone else. I feel like I haven't really fully answered your question, so I'll let the unanswered part be answered by that guy. He's the expert over there.
The reason I needed Emmanuel to give that perspective here is for now you to look at now the other bit here. Then if that's the case, why is there a disconnect here? Then from a lot of conversations with Emmanuel and other people is the fact that so that's the reality. I mean, they've built Nana, all of us know Nana, how fast it's growing, and everything has to be the Nana story. Now here we come in an ecosystem.
You're wondering what next? No, I've gotten Fraser. We're going to do a panel just like we've done it.
And I don't think they are. So you have a lot of startups that are not really addressing what investors are looking for. Make sense? Yeah, so because I really support what you're saying, that's what investors are looking for, but then you have startups who are not building that. Because Nala was able to answer that quite quickly. I think it's the biggest fintech in Kenya. I don't know if there's a bit of fintech in Kenya right now. They're not even Kenya. Then what is then happening if that's the case? So I genuinely feel that founders are not being able to answer those two very important questions. Yeah.
We started off by talking about, would like you to start off by talking a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm Fraser Kilonzo, cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity community lead for Africa Hackon and Hack the Box Kenya. Africa Hackon basically bring all the young people and experienced people within the cybersecurity space through training, mentorship. Hack the Box is a platform whereby people can be able to go and hone their skills when it comes to cybersecurity. I'm also a cybersecurity consultant with CyberGuard Africa, whereby we hack anyone and everyone. I don't think there's anyone we've not hacked. What else do I do? I'm also a mentor at Startinev and Textile Startup Weekend, whereby I share my knowledge and needs when it comes to cybersecurity within the various startups and ecosystem.
So I just want you to delve into the trends and opportunities for 2023 that have emerged in cybersecurity. Trends and opportunities.
Well, one of the things I think we've really gotten to see when it comes to cybersecurity, especially innovation when we're talking about innovation, is people are innovating too fast. You forget about the security, the defense, what's going to secure you when you're not watching, because there is apparently a group of hackers, about 50 of them here in Kenya.
That you're part of?
No, I'm not part of them. They are unethical. So basically they wait for anything that has money, whether it's mobile transfer, whatever it is, because they know that there's a number of APIs that have been set in place. And these guys will hack you. On the day of launch, you get hacked. There's an organization, a fintech, we took them back to the drawing board because their APIs were so bad and they had to push their launch date by 2 months. So many organizations have gotten to lose so much. It might be in terms of either financial loss through attackers being able to compromise and steal their funds, or things like ransomware activities. We've seen in the recent past, so many organizations have been hit by ransomwares and malwares. Something else that organizations have lost is DDoS, because DDoS activities not only impact the infrastructure that you've been able to set up, but it also impacts your financial capabilities and capacity.
If you're building an app or website, personal suggestion, send Fraser the link. Let them hack you. They'll hack you the right way. They'll give you a report of what you need to improve on. I've seen them support some great startups, so please do. Yeah.
Please don't launch before you have any tech platform. Please do not launch before you do a security audit on it.
Okay, let's get straight into the battle, the pitch battle, ready for today. And drum rolls, give me drum rolls, give me drum rolls. Drum rolls, I hope you guys are ready and eager. At Anza Night, we've always strived to build a dynamic ecosystem that empowers startups, innovators, and investors alike. So this pitch battle is basically going to be a thrilling face-off where founders basically show what they've invented to engage the entire community. And what you'll realize is there's a slight difference with other pitching events that you guys have attended because it engages the entire community. So your involvement is going to be key. And I was just prepping you guys with that trivia to make sure that we are all engaged and ready to have this engagement through this pitch battle. So this segment will offer the chosen startup founders the chance to pitch their ideas. It's going to be high stakes, there's high rewards, and of course, they're also going to demonstrate the ability to present their startups as well. And let me give you the criteria to which you can basically gauge the level of, to gauge the pitch as they go about. So one, appreciate the industry because it will capture all sectors and also the founder's involvement. Basically, this founder must be actively in the day-to-day operations and also in delivering of the pitch. You must also gauge revenue or impact. How is this startup able to generate revenue? Are we together? Tuko pamoja? Also traction, if it has a demonstrable customer or user engagement. And geographic focus. Is it focused on really helping this location, or is it a general thing that is basically applied wherever, or is it locally for Kenya? So the voting mechanism, this is how it's gonna flow. We're going to have QR codes. And the QR codes are going to lead you to the voting, where you're going to vote, the voting panel. And it's gonna be live. So it's gonna be, as you vote, in a reflex value. You remember during electioneering period, nasikianga, wake hesabu tuna hesabu. So this one, it's open democracy, where you see even the live feed as you vote. And on that basis, we're going to share the QR code right after the pitch presentations are done. And just to get you guys at par, we're going to have awards as well for the winning pitch battles. So they're going to have a certain amount from the proceeds of the tickets, and also, remember we said it's about community. It's called Anza. Anza? Good stuff. And Village is about community, bringing our own, and also funding our own. For us, by us. And coming right up to pitch for the first session, we have Daniel Gatura. Let's give it up for Daniel. And Daniel, as you come, you're limited to 3 minutes. It's going to be strict 3 minutes, but tuko pamoja. Safi? Haya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danny from Ace Mobility. So do we just start? The clock starts, eh? So I'll start with asking a question. How easy was it for you to get here? And as you think about that, think about how a person with disability would now be able to get here. So Ace Mobility is Kenya's first accessible vehicles startup. The challenge is persons with disabilities do not have transport solutions that are catered for their needs. I know this how, next slide. When I was 5 years old, my dad got into an accident. So I had to become a caregiver, and I saw his challenges in regards to transport solutions. Next slide. Persons with disabilities have to wait for more than 3 hours just to get a transport service that fits them. They have to pay 3 times the cost. That is, one, they have to pay their own seat. The second seat is for the assistive device, which is a wheelchair or something else. And the third one is for the caregiver. Next slide. So come in, Ace Mobility. So Ace Mobility is an app that pairs persons with disabilities and basically everyone who needs an adapted vehicle to a trained driver who has the adapted vehicle. So we come in as a marketplace where we show the vehicles that are adapted, and then now we show you where the driver is and you're able to request a vehicle. And wonderful enough, this solution is working. This year we have revenues of more than 20,000 USD. We've served actually not 3 but 4 of the inclusive conferences, which are conferences that touch on disabilities. 67% of our customers are actually persons with disabilities. There's a glitch. Yeah, so this is how we make our money. We make a 15% commission for all rides requested through the app. For the vehicles leased to us by persons with disabilities, we get 25% margins. And we're also training drivers of public transport and other ride-hailing applications at a cost of 20 USD. Yeah. We'll contact some next slide. But so yeah, our go-to-market strategy is one. We are looking at partnerships with Ubers and Bolts, and rather all riding-hailing apps. Also partnerships with public transport, who then we train their drivers so that we can make transport accessible for everyone. The market opportunity, we have more than 200 million persons with disabilities in Africa, but the transport solution is in no way adapted for the needs of persons with disabilities. We're also looking to target patient transfers. When someone is going into and out of a hospital and just because of a condition, they will need adapted transport solutions. Next slide. Yeah, in terms of competition, Ubers and Bolts and public transport, they might be affordable, but they don't have the knowledge of serving persons with disabilities. So for us, we come in with the expertise, the partnerships, and that's how we are solving for persons with disabilities. Yeah. the go-to-market strategy. Yeah, our ask is just 500K USD. Yeah, for that, it will cater for marketing, that is API development for B2B, and also some more team members, product development, and operations. Our team is made up of me as a co-founder of S Mobility, 7 years experience. Also, another co-founder of S Mobility is a blind lawyer. He's the only blind car reviewer in YouTube. And then we have Cynthia Joki, who's a head of sales and customer development. And we have Polycarp, who's a head of technology, and he's built the S Mobility app. S Mobility, we were awarded the best mobile app company. Thank you very much.
Let's give it up. And next, let's welcome Bartha with a hearty round of applause. Welcome, Bartha. Just to remind you, you have 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, my name is Bartha, and I would like to start off by asking a question. How many in the room are mothers or family? Yeah, mothers. Let's begin with mothers. Yes. Do you have children? Perfect. And first, I would like to appreciate you. You are a superhero. You know, bringing up children in this economy and world at the moment is quite an issue. But now, I would like to introduce you to Nanny Linked. That is cultivating connections beyond childcare. Yes. In Africa, it is hard finding a reliable nanny. And this is because when we as working mothers and families have very hectic schedules. So we don't get to choose how our schedules are. And also the quality of care that is being offered is not of the best quality at the moment. At the same time, the nannies are struggling to secure jobs. And as a Nanny Linked, our solution, next slide please. Our solution is we are providing a user-friendly interface with verified nannies. We're also giving you a network and a community of support. And we're also giving you a seamless scheduling process through the application and the web app. Next slide, please. So in Africa, 1.2 billion people are in the workspace. And in Kenya, the working mothers only account for 9.89 million. And this particular industry is set to grow at a CAGR of 5.2% and is estimated to be at 520 billion USD dollars by 2025. So what is our traction so far? Between mid-September and November, we've managed to successfully place 5 nannies that are working on day-back services over the weekends. We also have 20 potential nannies that are waiting to be vetted. And of the 20, we have, and others, 10 of them are vetted. Next slide, please. So this is our revenue model. How are we going to make money? Commission-based. And we're going to charge a 10% commission for every successful transaction and match that has been done through Nanny Linked. We're also offering partnerships and a referral model by partnering with daycare centers. And also we do have data and insights that we can be able to provide to childcare services and institutions to best help them curate their data. Next slide, please. Our competition, we do have Nairobi Nanny, Stashi Nannies, and Mother Goose. But why pick us? Because we are offering a network of professionally trained and vetted caregivers. We are also giving you personalized care. So say you want to step out for 5 hours and you don't want to hire a nanny for an entire day. We can be able to offer that solution to you. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barbara. All right, up next we have Peter Karaoke. Peter, karibu sana.
My name is Peter Karaoke, co-founder of StarMeet, where we connect you with your stars personally. Not the stars in the sky, but the stars in your lives. They can be famous celebrities, they can be professionals, people who have an impact in your life. Next slide. So the problem that you're solving, there are actually 3. One, we have a lack of personalized connection between the fans and the stars. Another, there's a lack of access to the particular celebrities by businesses. And the other solution is there are very boring gift options let's say we have a birthday coming up, you just think about chocolates, flowers, socks for your dad. Imagine, like, how can you buy socks? So, next slide. The solution that you're coming up with is one, we're going to offer personalized connections between you and your favorite stars. We are going to bring you a new and unique gift options that is always unique with every time you gift it. And then we're going to digitize the rate cards of the celebrities and the creators that we have around. Next slide. Okay, so the product works like this. We have a web application. It's on starmeet.africa. You can get your favorite stars there. You select a particular one, give them the particular details. I want a video for my friend. It's called Anthony. He's turning 22. I wanted to wish him a happy birthday. You give more context. The celebrity gets the request, records a video, submits it to us. We polish it, and you get your video within 7 days. The application on the business side is a little different. We get the celebrities, but then we also get the data of their fans. So you as a business, whenever you go to look for celebrities, you look for what the business needs. I want to target an audience of age 15 to 25. I want them to be ladies. I want them to be around Nairobi, Nakuru. So once you input that data, we get to curate for you a list of the particular celebrities and stars whose audience meet your needs. Yeah. Next slide. The timing is perfect. Everyone is consuming content on social media. People need referrals from people they trust in different areas. Next slide. Okay, our key competitors are one, we have Wowzy. Wowzy is already established and focused on the B2B side. And then we have AfriVega is also a startup that offers subscription for you to get personalized content from them. And then for us, Starmeet, we are different in that you get to make the request from the particular celebrities. You don't have to pay any subscription fees. You can access them as a fan. You can buy for your friends and other people.
Thank you, Peter.
Wow.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. All right, let's welcome the next speaker. One of the job Peter, Moses Ochin. Moses, karibu. Okay, it's a video presentation, so to take him as here, let's listen in.
Living in a family that depends on agriculture has its ups and downs, especially when that family has to rely on its farming. Nice to share because by 8 million farmers in Africa are not able to access these loans. Find the application process is very complicated, or simply cannot afford them due to increase in purchasing power that inflation facing over 60% of African countries. In the same breath, we have over 200 billion market that remains uninvested by cryptocurrency holders across the world. At Investcom, we connect these two worlds by enabling farmers access easy, affordable, and low-cost loans, and enabling cryptocurrency holders who don't have any reliable platform to invest their crypto and rewards from their investment. Our business model is a B2B model, meaning right from the point where a farmer asks for their loans, we'll be able to access purchasing of fertilizers and the different farming needs that the farmer wanted from other businesses instead of giving the farmer money. What's our difference to other businesses that offer loans out there? The purchasing power of a crypto loan is lower than the purchasing power of a normal currency loan. Why is this so? It's because of inflation that affects how bad or how good our economy, our currencies are doing, which also leads to the devaluation of different currencies. At Investcom, we work with different strategic partners along the way. Meaning we get the different funding inputs from different businesses that already exist. So we have two products, that's the mobile application and the website-based application. You can all access our website at www.investorfund.com. So we'll just show you a brief demo of how the application works, especially on the investor side, where anyone that has a global MetaMask wallet, which is a global wallet, can be able to get access to the farming groups that we have listed, and then they can be able to invest in any of the farming goods. So the farming registration obviously involves taking of different KYC from the name to different farming reports, and then we will approve you from our team panel and then also from just seeing the farm. So basically after the approval, you will be here, you will appear here, so you can see on the screen the approved farming groups and others that are not approved. So what you can see is an investor that's already invested in matching the farmers, and then what this enables us to do is our system converts this to dollars, so you're able to check how many dollars in form of crypto are you investing in a particular farm. So the farmers can either, so we handle the liquidity, meaning we convert the cryptocurrencies to dollars, so the farmers can be able to get this money. So the growing, there has been a growth in the borrowing and lending markets, and also if you look at the agricultural sector, 70% of its labor comes from women and youth. And this is the core pillar of investing in our women, goods, and youth.
Time is up. Time is up. Thank you, Moses, albeit virtually. We thank you, Moses.
And the winner is Ace Mobility. Let's give up for Ace Mobility.
You can keep clapping as they get their awards. Thank you. Let's clap for him, Ace Mobility. Let's give a rapturous round of applause, Daniel, Ace Mobility. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Innocent. Thank you so much. For Victor Baraza, Best Student Award Cohort 1. All right. Innovator of the Year Award goes to, round of applause, Hegia. Community Impact Award, Ndungu Ndeto. Let's clap for her as she receives the award on behalf of the Community Impact Award. Good job, good job, good job. This is Antler Partner of the Year Award. Let's give it up from there. Oh, whoa. Thank you so much. We're going to have a networking session, and I remember something was said that was quite important, that your network is your net worth. So be eager to just network, get to know who's who, get to know what they're doing, get to know, you could be their friend. And I remember we said some of us had lost friends, we can gain friends here as well. Okay?
Thank you so much for coming. We started Anza last year, and the idea was the way the village works. You know, in Shago, you need soil to visit each neighbor's house and get salt. But in Nairobi, before you get salt, so that was the idea. That's why we called it Anza Village, and we've really grown with that spirit. We've gotten a lot of people to support us, founders, ecosystem enablers, government, diplomats. We've gotten literally support from everyone and from you for coming. You can imagine if we planned all this, then only one person comes, or nobody comes. So thank you to you as well for coming and for supporting the founders with cash as well. If you have anything else you want to support our founders with, feel free to reach out to any of us. We are really happy to receive that support. They need it the most. The ecosystem is not at the best right now, so if we can support each other side, then things are better, maybe there'll be more to receive here. Yeah? And finally, to the team at Anza who work tirelessly to make sure that stuff runs. You know, we started, you were 4 of us, then now we are like a team of 11. I don't even know how. And thank you so much to the Anza team, to yourselves, to Antler for always hosting us. Thank you so much and have a good night. Let's talk, meet somebody new, grab a drink, and see you in January. Merry Christmas.